Hi my little shardies, welcome and welcome back. This is Christina with Shhh Art Online. Today we are going to finish up part 3 of the chimpanzees we were doing in Fragile World by Kerby Rosanes. For this tutorial I am going to be using the Harmony ink by Spectrum Noir, and I'm going to be using Spring Meadow and GrassHopper. I'll have a link in the description box below for these. And I'm also going to be using a blending brush. I've already done most of the background in the image, but I left a little bit to show you what I did. All right, without further ado, let's get this thing started. You're also going to need a piece of cardstock or a piece of paper to lay in between the pages. All right, here it is, guys. This is what I have been working on. I left these areas right here for us to be able to work on it together. So I do have a piece of cardstock and I am putting it underneath the page. So if I go off the edge of the page, it doesn't go on the pages below it. And I'm just going to slide that in my book. And I'm going to use the Harmony Spring Meadow. And I've tried doing this two ways. I've tried to tap it on here and pull it off of here, but I noticed that when I do that, I didn't get as even of a look. So I've just been rubbing the brush directly onto the pad and then going over it. I am going a little bit over the limbs and the branches, but I haven't had any real problem with it changing or distorting the color of anything. And I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to make it even. I'm just kind of, it's going to be like a little malty looking. Malted. I don't want it to be like one solid color. And then I don't really care if it gets on the leaves a little bit, because I think you're going to get that green tinge from it being in the jungle. And it doesn't really do much because I have all the wax on there from the pencils. I mean, you can still see it a little bit in certain places. So I'm not like intentionally going over the leaves, but I don't care if it kind of touches them a little bit here and there. And I'm just rubbing it onto the ink pad, pulling a little bit and just kind of in a swirly motion, putting it on there. Again, I'm not trying to be perfect. I don't want it to look perfect. I feel like if I had done blue, it would have, you know, it's in a jungle, so I'm pretty sure that there would be like kind of greenish trees and stuff behind it. So I chose a light green to kind of pull the picture together, but I didn't want to do blue because I'm sure there are more trees in the background and there would be like a greenish tinge in the middle of this tree. So that's why I chose that color. And I'm sure people who use these inks all the time probably feel like I'm doing this wrong. But again, this is the way I do it, so I'm not trying to be perfect. I don't want a seamless background. But it's all up to you as to what you guys want. So feel free to take your time and make this seamless if that's what you choose. But make sure you come down off the paper a little bit. I'd rather not have on my image white spots showing. And I'm going to zoom in. I just realized it's pretty far out. Let me zoom in. And that's the area I just worked on. And I went right over top of the leaves a little bit. Again, I didn't on purpose go over the leaves, but some definitely went on them and you cannot tell. I'm using a smaller brush because there was a lot of little areas. This is taking me a little bit longer than if I had used a larger brush, but again, I'm trying to avoid getting it too much on the leaves. I don't care if it kind of highlights it a little bit, but I don't want to just kind of go over my entire picture with it. So I chose a much smaller brush. I'd like to say this background only took me 5 minutes, but it didn't. It took me a lot less time than if I were to try to color it with colored pencils. So, and remember, this ink is water reactive. You can squirt a little water on it too with a mini mister if you wanted to. and pull up some of that ink to give it like a more of a malted look. I don't think I'm going to do that though. I think I'm going to leave it like this, kind of like how it's turning out. But it may give it like a little bit of an effect of, you know, light coming through the trees. If you wanted to pull up a little bit of the ink and then maybe put like a brighter color, like a yellow or maybe even a blue. But remember, these blend really easily. So if you do try to put a blue, it might turn it green. Because this color is kind of on the yellow side. And yellow and blue make green. So I have the base layer down with this Spring Meadow, and now I'm going to come in with GrassHopper. I do have like a little piece of scratch paper here. You can see where I was kind of wiping off my ink, and I'm just kind of rubbing my brush across it. I had a lot more ink in my brush than I thought. And maybe I'll go and kind of press hard in spots. This will kind of blend together as it dries. Just want to get some of this extra ink off the brush. Again, I am not worried about being perfect in the background. All right, I got most of that off. Gonna rub my brush across it, and then just in spots here and there, I'm going to just add a little bit of this GrassHopper, and I'm doing it mostly toward the bottom or the outside edges because I want the highlight in the middle to be the chimpanzees. And you could do lighter or darker, and remember it lifts up too, so if you got a little more than you wanted, you can always pull a little bit of it up by putting just a tad of water on it. I kind of like the character, so I'm not too worried. And I did notice, I'll show you on the other side, how even these darker spots, they look really dark right here. As they dry, they'll lighten up a little bit. Get that off there. Malted look isn't terrible. Still like it. Come over here and put just a little bit over here. Sometimes it doesn't want to smooth out real well. But again, I'm not super worried about it. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do for that. So let me zoom out and show you guys what I've done. I'm going to pick this up because the light really reflects and it changes the way this looks. So that is how I'm choosing to finish that. All right, everyone, I think that's going to wrap up this video. I hope this video was helpful. If you like what you see, make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you're told each and every time I post a new video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, color happy, and remember, shh, it's our little secret.